Hello, Internet! My name is Shannen, aka your friendly neighborhood misfit, and I welcome you to day 1 of the Anime Misfit Madness Review Gauntlet! I hope you're ready as I am, because this has been the most hectic project I have put myself through. Seriously though, I'm very glad I had some help in this endeavor, as I would never have pushed out this much content in 1 week. Moving on though, let me ask you lovely people a random question. For those of you who are still in school, how many of you love buying school supplies? I'm talking about books, pencils, that little nub of an eraser that you tend to chew off after the first week. Okay, I cannot see your answer since I'm not physically there to tell you if you said yes or no. But, you know what else is good for a good round of school supplies? Dead bodies! Not where I was going with it, but whatever. Ah yes, the time of the year where we're bogged down with assignments right before spring break. And using the power of procrastination, we instead use our precious time to watch a good old-fashioned whodunit. However, despite the intrigue and unique takes on the classic Sherlock Holmes formula, very few anime execute the concept well without resorting to a supernatural plot device that might keep the convinced viewer's attention. But today, my fellow viewers, I bring you such a scenario for a fan-favorite series that couldn't be up to the task any better. Will it give chills down your spine in a suspenseful mystery? Or will that one hell of a butler swoop in to shove all the worries under the rug? Maybe he is the killer. Ooh! Actually, that would probably make a fangirl's day, being pursued by their living body pillow. So let's jump in and find out. Here is Black Butler, Book of Murder. Okay. Before we begin, I need to preface that, with this being an OVA movie, it takes place soon after the events of Book of Circus for you anime-only watchers. If you've never watched this series before, which I'm amazed how you got this far in your anime life without knowing, I suggest you, at the minimum, watch Season 1 and a little bit of Book of Circus if you want the full enjoyment. However, if you are just getting here after Season 1, that's fine too. Just that the ending may confuse you a bit. Either way, you have been warned. Our lovely Victorian duo are paid visit by the Double Grey, two of the Queen's finest butlers, and by the Queen's mandate, the Phantom Hive House must show hospitality to a visiting German banker. CL then decides to host a wonderful banquet exclusively attended by some of London's rich and successful. What begins from there is a dark turn for the worst, as one by one guests begin turning up dead, gone, finito, pushing up daisies and kicking the porcelain bucket, with their eye-patched little shit being framed as the culprit. Should he wish to preserve the Phantom Hive name, the pair must join forces with their remaining guests, including soon-to-be legendary author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, to unravel the mystery and apprehend the murderer before it's too late. First of all, what took you so long, anime gods? I mean, this is the perfect anime for a murder mystery, and you wait till now to give us it. Well, 2014 is better late than never. Isn't that right, Parasite? Anyway, this little tale is broken into 2 parts. The first part consisting most of the actual mystery, while the second part finishes up before explaining the behind the scenes of the previous night's encounters. Also where the majority of Black Butler's signature humor lies. Think of it as a check your answers section for people trying to solve the mystery at home. This structure not only gives the movie nice pacing, but still gives us a chance to take in all the charm that made Black Butler such a fun show to begin with. If it ain't broke, don't change it, right? As for the mystery itself, I like the way they use the anime's quirks and characters to distract the viewer as we are trying to figure things out. Even when it showed its weaknesses, the familiar Black Butler formula became its saving grace. Speaking of weaknesses, there were some that stood out to me. One ironically being the good maybe too good, role that Sebastian played during the actual events of the mystery. It felt like the mystery was solved way too easily once the ball got really rolling. Sure, you could argue that yes, it fit the tone of the show and a great display of what he does best. And in truth, the movie wasn't really hiding the plot twist, if you were really paying attention. But for a mystery's sake, you could say that the ominous feeling of solving the crime really fades away since we know our wonderful Butler has things under control. Turning the atmosphere of an OVA from a murder mystery into an extended episode of Black Butler was not really a bad thing per se, but it does feel a little too much. But because the movie was adapting an entire arc in 2 hours, that feat is still remarkable nonetheless, even if it did feel way too safe in terms of creative liberties are concerned. From an anime-only watcher's point of view, the anime did feel more organic enough to be a fun experience, yet the Black Butler fanfare can get in the way a little if you're personally invested for the mystery's sake alone. Book of Atlantic also had the same problem, however, it's easy to see that this was a movie designed for the Black Butler fans in mind, and in that right, it does what it needs to do. While Black Butler Book of Murder also caters to that fan base, it is a little more palatable in terms of getting new people on board. Again, except for the ending, it's pretty much season 1 Black Butler, so you should be fine if you're literally going in this blind. Unfortunately, I can't say much more since going into further detail would impede on the juicy surprises within. Wait, I can say the second half was funny as hell. Oh my god, just take my word for it. You just gotta see it for yourself, because once you do, you will be rolling in your seat. So after our commercial break, we will just jump right into presentation. As for the animation and sound, it was done by A1 Pictures. There's not really much else to say on that front. It looks and feels like any other episode of Black Butler, but with a slight bump in quality and a lot more dread to fit the tone. It nicely fits the mood for a murder, but everything else from the characters, musical score, voices, and dub cast wasn't really much of a difference from the usual Black Butler formula. But what I can commend is the editing of certain scenes before and after the events of the murder. After the intermission, we are given scenes in full detail this time, showing the certain inner perspectives of characters. Obviously, that would be going into spoilers, so instead, think of the second episode of Death Parade. It's basically all of Act 2 in a nutshell. It's a nice touch to see them have time to personalize the murder mystery around the world of Black Butler, and regardless of the outcome of the OVA, it did its job in being true to itself. Speaking of that dub cast for a second, I want to briefly highlight some of the new character performances. I apologize if I mess up their names, but Tales and Jaffe's Arthur is a standout because I don't see this actor often, and he did a good job being the plucky, naive, intuitive author that he always was meant to be. While Clifford Chapman and Brenda Potter's portrayal of the Grey brothers was my favorite because of the polarizing togetherness with each other. That dynamic was excellent to just watch unfold, and I knew everyone else from the usual Black cast was going to hit it off out of the park, so there was no point in mentioning their praise for the umpteenth time. But all in all, Black Butler Book of Murder made me entertained till the end credits. When everything was revealed, I'm happy to report that the mystery itself did fall into place. By the end of the movie, we learned that all you really need to give inspiration to someone down on creative luck is a cup of tea, 2 hours, and one hell of a goddamn butler. And that is how you make a contribution to history, folks. So after some consideration and an hour of watching a famous writer be straight out mind-fucked, I give Black Butler Book of Murder a recommendation to buy it when it's available in your country, and a watchability rating of PG-13. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, Black Butler Book of Murder isn't available for streaming purposes. However, it is licensed by Funimation and is available on home video release on Blu-ray or DVD if you're interested, and you can pick it up wherever DVDs and Blu-rays are provided. AKA, that means Amazon for less than $25, people. Such a steal! If you're looking for some other anime goodness, however, then recommendation 1 will actually just be Death Parade, because it's just as fun and how it treats death while also knowing how to keep the sense of intrigue alive and well is perfect for the Black Butler fan in mind. Recommendation 2 will be the Mystic Archives of Dantalian for a similar 18th century supernatural feel, with creepy mysteries at every corner. Next up is Makai, Ouji, Devil, and Realist, for those wanting to ignite their inner fanfiction writer. And finally, we gotta recommend an anime movie for a movie, in which besides the obvious sequel Black Butler Book of the Atlantic, I will also choose the 6th Detective Conan movie, The Phantom of Baker Street, because it's about Conan trying to find Jack the Ripper in a stimulated London in order to save a bunch of kids. What more do you want, people? So between all of that good stuff, you'll find something to your fancy. I hope. But that's it for me. That's 1 down and 4 more reviews to go. I made sure to balance the variety of shows as much as possible, but I also just was prioritizing what I already had on hand. All these anime are just shows I never got to reviewing, so let's just see how this goes for the entire week. But in the meantime, I thank you all for watching regardless. If you enjoyed this content, comment down below of your thoughts. Please refrain from spoilers, please. I'm not gonna police you guys, but this movie is much more enjoyed if you don't know much about the second half. Follow me wherever I am on the internet, my Twitter, my Facebook, and my Discord for all your direct-to-Misfit needs. Subscribe to the Anime Misfit today if you're new, where it's always time for a nice toast, good conversation, and food. And by the way, today's anime food of the day is tea cakes, because it's also about that time that I take a break and warm up for the trip for the week ahead. Shannen out!